Hello, folks. Belt replacement for your car could be an expensive maintenance item. You need to replace your belt between 60 to 90,000 miles for BMW 328i. The mileage varies by models and different makes, but this is kind of guidance. But also there are places or times where you need to replace the belt even if it is not that much miles. Now this is the belt I used, but you need to basically look up a belt that is with this part number and order it online or from dealer or anywhere you want to get it. You might have to replace the belt even if you are not at 60,000, 70,000 miles. And those are instances when you have, let's say, oil leak. If there was oil leak and you have the belt all soaked in oil, there's a good chance that it could run out of the pulley, and then it will damage the pulley or the mechanism. And sometimes it can get into the engine from the camshaft opening the gasket. So it's a good idea to change it. To change the belt, basically you would have to release the tensioner. Now to do that, we're going to start with removing this front piece and then the intake snorkel, air intake snorkel and the box. So I removed these two screws with a sparks with a Torx screwdriver. And now to take out that snorkel, it's easy. Basically, you just release those two sides with a hand or with a screwdriver, and it comes out easily. After that, now you can see the belt better, but I would say take that box out also, the filter housing box, and that's easy to take it out. You have those two Torx nuts that you need to, or bolts, you need to unscrew them. Periodically, you should also inspect your belt to see any signs of wear or shredding, like threads coming out. In that case, it's better to replace the belt. So it looks complex because you see all these parts there, but if you step back a little bit and conceptually look at it, it is not that difficult. And I'll explain once we take this box out. So I took this socket, Torx, with a Torx socket, and remove these two bolts. If you remove those two bolts, you basically can just lift that box out. It's just actually sitting with those two bolts. Once you remove that box, you get a lot of space to work on it, and you can see components more easily. So the Torx socket that you use is E10 Torx socket. You can get that at any hardware stores. One recommendation I will have is, if you have BMW, get a good set of Torx drivers, as well as both male and female, and starting from lowest to the T60 and E whatever you can get, 45 or so. They'll be useful. If you try to buy one of them at a time, it's going to be expensive. So if you buy a set, it's much easier. Once you take that box, then you unplug the sensor here. Don't forget to do that, otherwise you're going to break the wire there or something. It's going to be more expensive. And then you loosen that clamp with a screwdriver. So once you loosen that clamp and we remove those two bolts, it just comes out. You can just lift it. Now you can see various components. So we saw this. This is oil filter housing and gasket housing. This is steering wheel pump or steering wheel reservoir, and this shows how the belt is basically placed. How to how to wind it, because it has to be in a certain way. You cannot just put any different ways, otherwise you're going to damage the belt as well as something else. It's very easy actually to put that. So I'll show this diagram once again. But basically, this tensioner is something that we need to loosen or release to be able to take the belt out. Uh, what you're looking at is a steering pump. So in case, since you have it out, you can also inspect it for any leaks there. This is a good opportunity to search for any leaks if you have, because you're going to get good visuals here. Above the steering pump, there is a alternator. And now here you can basically see that fan, you know, plug basically that provides power to the fan. So it's good idea to unplug that. It's not absolutely necessary because you're not going to put your hand inside the fan unless you're an idiot. But safety first. So I think it's a good idea to take it out. And you press that thing, and then you can just pull it out and put it on the side. You don't need to take the fan out, but it's a good safety measure. Now it's hard to see inside with the camera, but basically the tensioner has this particular Torx again, right? So you need the socket, and I would recommend a big breaker bar. I mean, here I'm trying to do it with a socket, but you don't get the leverage enough to really press it. Um, so you need a T60 Torx socket plus an adapter plus a breaker bar. If you are strong enough, you could probably turn it with this one, like the way I'm showing here. But breaker bar is going to be it make the job very easy, and with a little bit of force, you can just turn it. So you need these three things. You need that bar itself, then the universal socket, unless your breaker bar is actually of the size, and then you know the, the Torx itself. So now if you press that down, it releases the pressure on the belt. That tensioner is actually pressing the belt so that there is a proper tension maintained. Once you are able to press it, you can slide that belt over the pulley with your other hand. Be very careful. Don't release the tensioner while you're doing that. You don't want to get your fingers pinched in the belt. It's not that difficult actually. You can see where to put that. You know, you try to basically take out the belt from that one pulley, and then you just go sequentially, and all of it comes out. If you wear gloves, that's much better. It's going to keep your hands clean. Otherwise, you'll get oil on your hands, which is okay. But it's better to have gloves if you have them handy. Now I took out the belt. Um, Putting the belt back is similar process. Again, you have to be patient basically, because you can't see a lot there. Um, so you try to put it in a certain way. First thing, you need to figure out where the grooves on the belt are. So the grooves must go on the pulley's grooves, right? Um, Only place where it doesn't follow the grooves is this tensioner that is actually just pressing on the belt on the flat side. Okay, not on the grooved side. But rest of them are all going to be sitting in the grooves on all of these pulleys. When you put the belt, make sure that the grooves are fitting properly and you're not having the belt off, like, not exactly on the pulley, but a little bit off on a different grooves. So that is important to do. Now, belt it is good idea to buy a good quality belt. You get very cheap ones, we get expensive ones, but if you go with a reputable manufacturer, and the one I put here is the OEM. So BMW basically recommends and puts that. So that's what I'm putting here. If you want to use the car for a long time, I think it's good to buy a good quality one. Now, what you can do is you can start with the crankshaft pulley, and put it there. So you can use your hands and put it on that. Then you put it over the steering fluid pulley. On the other side, you put it on the pulley that is over that AC pulley, right? So AC is the one which is at the leftmost bottom. Then you just follow basically that diagram, and the last part will be putting it over the tensioner, which is a little tricky. So you have to basically again hold the tensioner or press it down. And once you're done that, basically you're done. Um, you put your, assemble it back as we disassembled it, and you're done. I hope this video was useful. Let me know any comments, and please subscribe and like. Thank you.